Hey guys, look, what I've decided to do, I've put together a little bit of a video for you to have a look at so that you can actually understand how it is we do subject selection here at Kadina Memorial School, as well as support you to choose subjects for next year. This is a really important time for you guys, obviously because you're setting yourself up for your career beyond school. So I just thought this video may help you, alright? For any further questions, please come and see me or talk to Mrs. Williams as a senior school counsellor, or even just talk to your teacher. Find a teacher that you trust and talk to them, because all of the teachers here understand what it is when it comes to senior school subjects, and what it is you need to know and where you need to go to find information. Alright, so why don't we get started? The big thing is, what I need you to do is you need to go to the following. You need to go to our public drive, senior, and then the folder subject selection. Okay. In this folder here, this subject selection folder, you're going to find a few things, all right? You're going to find the Kadina Memorial School Senior School Subject Information Booklet, all right? So for those of you that haven't seen this, this is every subject that we offer here at Kadina Memorial School, all right? So you just need to go to your year level. So let's deal with the year 11s here. Every subject we offer, okay, and the length that it's offered for is on a page number here, and then you just have to refer to it. So again, following through here, let's say I like arts, all right, it's got my whole arts faculty here, and it's got all the subjects at year 11 that I can do. Okay, now in here it tells me what I need to know if I want to do it, if there's any background. It tells me about the subject. It also tells me how it's assessed and any additional requirements there are. All right, so what you need to do is you need to start thinking about the subjects you want to do next year, and then read up about them in this booklet here. What we've also done to help you out with this is we put taster videos on under the subject selection folder as well. So if I, for instance, wanted to do year 11 chemistry, I could look up the year 11 chemistry video, and it would tell me what it is I need to know, or the skills I need to bring in order to be successful in that subject. Okay, so not only have you got the subject information book that tells you that, but there are also some videos. So download the videos you want, take them straight off the public drive. The other thing you can do is take this senior school subject information booklet, all right, for the subjects you want to do, take it home, show it to your parents, and it helps make a mud map of where you want to go next year, okay? The other really important document you need to download is the SACE planner, okay? Again, it's on that same file there, and this is the SACE planner here. This will let us plan where we want to go for the next 2 years, and at the same time, it will also make sure that we have the right amount of subjects here, okay? So that way we can pass and get our 200 credits and get through SACE. Now, your PLP or history teacher should have already gone through the makeup of the SACE and what it is, okay? So the SACE is 200 credits, with most of them being done at year 11. We do 120 of them at year 11, a mixture of stage 1 and stage 2, and we do the rest at year 12. Okay, in PLP you should have already done, or you're completing at the moment, and you get 10 credits for that as well. So in years 11 and 12 you do 190 credits. Okay, and we need to make sure that we do at least 30 credits of literacy and numeracy. Okay, in the regards of a whole year of literacy and a semester of numeracy. We need to do 60 stage 2 credits if we want to get our SACE, 90 if we want to pass, get an ATAR score, and the blue here are your free choice credits, which again, most of them are done at year 11. But your teacher should have gone through this anyway, all right? If they haven't, have a chat to them and they can go through it with you guys as a class, or you guys, or you on your own if you wish to. All right, so again, the two files you need to really make sure that you've got are the SACE planner, okay, and the senior school subject information book. The third thing you should get is only relevant if you're going to university, okay, and that's the SADAC guide. Now, the SADAC guide is a big blue book with every course that we offer here in South Australia at a South Australian university, all right, and it will tell you the cutoff score, the ATAR cutoff score you need. It will also tell you any prerequisites or assumed knowledge that you need, and if you see prerequisites and assumed knowledge, you should be doing them while you're here at high school, okay, and they can be found in upstairs 6-7. Miss Tucker's put them away. I think they're under the whiteboard in upstairs 6-7. But if you're thinking going to uni, I would grab a SADAC guide and make sure I have a look at it to make sure that I know what I need to do to get into my subject post school. Okay. Once you've got all that, we can sort of get started. All right. But before we can start choosing subjects, you need to know the makeup of how we do things at Kadina Memorial School. All right. So I'm just going to go through it. At Kadina Memorial School, we run 2 semesters. We run semester A and semester B. Now, it's really important that you don't make A equals semester 1 and B equals semester 2, because that's not necessarily the way, all right? The big thing for us is the fact that semester A and semester B are just two separate semesters, okay? So when you choose subjects down each side here, just because you put it here in semester A does not mean it will be done in semester 1. And just because you put it down in semester B does not mean it will be done in semester 2. For instance, if I choose one semester of maths here, okay, if I choose one semester of maths, then I could do that in semester 1 or semester 2. It doesn't matter, all right? So please don't think semester A means semester 1 and semester B means semester 2. All right. So as I said, we run 2 semesters here at Canina Memorial School, and we run a 6-line timetable. So when we're selecting our subjects, we make sure that this is what we want to do here. The R is a reserve preference. So you'll choose your 6 lines down here, and you'll put a couple of reserve preferences in there. Why do we do that? The reason why is because we have 330 kids we have to cater and try and fit every single subject into, okay? And that just isn't going to happen. So some students, believe it or not, will not get their first preferences and will have to rely on their reserve preferences, all right? So again, it's really important to make sure that you choose reserve preferences, all right? So I'm just going to write this down here. So make sure you choose reserve preferences. Okay, the other thing you need to do is you need to make sure you order your preferences in a way that the subject you want to do the most goes up number 1, and the subject you want to do the least goes as your last number, which in this case is probably going to be number 7. Okay, because we have 7 spaces left over. So that's what you have to make sure that you do. Is this is the most preferred subject. This is a subject you really want to get into. Okay, and this subject down here is the least preferred. So it is really important that you put your order. Okay, you put your order in from most right down to least. All right, so that's the 2 things I cannot stress enough here. All right, anyhow, let's go through. All right, let's say now skip forward in time. You've read through the subject selection book, you've looked at the Taste Today videos, and you want to start choosing your subjects. So we're going to start writing them down here, and then we'll move them to the planner in just a moment, all right? So I'm going to choose what I'd be keen on. So for instance here, I'm a big maths fan, all right? So I'd like to do math methods here, all right? And I want to do that for a whole year. All right. I mean, I'm a big music fan too, so I might do music for a whole year. Okay. Now I might chuck chem down here. All right. And the other thing too is, no, we won't go with chem because I'll tell you why in a moment. Let's say I want to do psychology for a year, so I might do psychology for a year. But I also like lifestyle and rec, so I might do that. I might do that for a year, for a semester as well. Okay, and last but not least, let's say I'll chuck some home ec in there because I really like to cook. Okay, well in year 11 and 12 we call it hospitality, but just for this sake we're going to call it home ec. And a reserve preference, I'm going to choose biology. All right. Now, again, understanding here, my reserve preferences are I'm not doing biology unless I can't get into some other higher preferences. All right, so in this case here, this is where the subjects I'm hoping to do. All right, so math methods, music, psych, lifestyle and rec, home ec, as well as my compulsories. Okay, and my reserve preference here is biology. So again, I might not get into biology, but it's something that I need to look at a little bit later on. All right. Anyhow, so now that I've got this here, I'm going to transpose it over onto this sheet here, which is the SACE planner, all right? Now, most of you should have done or are completing PLP already. So this here is done in year 10, and you already get your 10 credits for it. Now, literacy you must do for an entire year, okay? And at year 11, we have 2 types of literacy you can do. We've got Essential English, okay? And we have Just English. And again, you must do that for a whole year. So either Essential English or English. Now, Essential English is like the old literacy course. It's for those students that really don't like English and will struggle to, and generally struggle with it at year 10, okay? It just gives you the English that you need to get through life, all right? Whereas the English itself is what sets you up for year 12 English, all right? And again, you need that for a whole year, so we're going to take 10 credits because each of these is worth 10 credits. So that gives us 20 credits, again, a whole year of English. And numeracy, believe it or not, we only have to do it for one semester. Okay, so let's have a look at this. The numeracy subjects that you can choose are essential maths, which is a maths for those that really struggle at maths. Sets you up some real basic life skills such as budgeting, learning how to read timetables, that type of stuff. You could do general maths, which for most of you is probably where you would go if you've already done standard maths in year 10. General maths here is like business maths, or more like you guys know as maths applications. So, you know, your savings and loans, your stocks and shares, a little bit of statistics, measurement, that type of stuff. Or if you're at the advanced maths course and you want to do maths further on at 11 and 12, you want to look at your maths studies and stuff like that, then you need to do math methods. Okay, so this is highly algebra based, okay, and also has a lot to do with graphing. Now you only have to do one semester of that, so that's why we put 10 there, and therefore that's how we get our 30 credits. 20 plus 10 equals 30. All right. Now so when we go back to our original sheet here, you can see that I've done my English, and I've ticked off my maths. My PLP was done in year 10. The thing here that we've also got are research practices and research project. Now, research project is a year 12 subject, but we do it here in year 11, okay? It's actually a stage 2 subject which we do in year 11. And the other thing we do is research practices. Now, it's not compulsory to do according to SACE. However, if you choose to go to Kadina Memorial School, research practices is compulsory to do, okay? So we do that before research project, and we found we have a lot more students get a lot more success by doing research practices first. You don't have an option, you must do it, and that's why it's typed up here, because it's a compulsory subject. So there's another 10, 20 credits there that I've just ticked off. So there's 10 credits there, and there's my 10 credits of compulsory there. So now we get to go down to our choice subjects that we just spoke about probably about 3 minutes ago. So again, remember how I said when you order it, you must choose it in preferred. So your most preferred to your least preferred. So if I have a quick look through here, I want to do this. This is my most preferred. There is my second most preferred. All right. And again, this is where you include your reserve preferences. So make sure you number your most preferred and write it down on the list that way. So in this case here, as I said, math methods is what I wanted to do. So math methods. Okay, that was my first. My second choice was music. My third choice was music. Okay, my fourth choice was psychology. My fifth choice was lifestyle and rec. My sixth choice and seventh choice were hospitality, but I wrote them as home ec. Doesn't matter. Okay? What I also want you to do when you're on this screen is down here, I want you to put your reserve preferences. So again, I went bio for both of my reserve preferences. Okay, just let me write that correctly so you can actually see it a bit better rather than me just scribbling it down. Alright, so if I count these up here, I get another 10 credits for math methods, another 10 credits for music, both of them, so that's 10, 20 credits, 10 credits for psych, 10 for lifestyle and rec, and 10 for each semester of home ec. So here I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 credits here. Okay, I have 80. Even though it says 90, we only do 80 in regards to free choice subjects at stage 1 here at Kadina Memorial School, and I'll explain it to you in a moment. I'll explain it to you why we do it that way right now. In stage 2 or year 12, you have to do 4 subjects. Okay, so in this case here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and all of these subjects are 20 credit. Okay, so if I do 4 at 20 credits here, that gives me 80 credits here. Now year 12, or stage 2 says I only need a subtotal of 70. But I do an extra 80 credits there, which makes up for the fact that I've dropped 10 credits off there. If I do the math now, and have a look, you can actually see that we have 10 credits there from PLP. We have our another 20, another 10, which makes 40 credits there. So again, 10 and 20 is 30, and 10 is 40. Then I have 80 here, which makes 120. Okay, I have another 80 there, which makes 200, and I have my another 10 for research projects, which makes 210. So by the time you're finished at Canina Memorial Canina Memorial School, you have 210 credits. Okay, and we give you an extra 10 credits in order to make sure it acts as a bit of a safety barrier. Just because you do an extra 10 credits does not mean you get to drop a subject. That is not going to happen. All right. Anyhow, once you're at this point here where you've written out your sheet, okay, and you're ready to progress on, we then look at moving on to entering our subjects in. All right. So the way we do that is through the Web Preferences portal. So if I just bring that up, the Web Preferences portal here looks like, now I was just playing with this one before, so I'll just log out. The Web Preferences portal looks like this, and you can go to it by going to selectmysubjects.com.au. Now, if you can't remember, that's fine, because what I've done is your teacher should be handing you out an instruction sheet like this in just a moment, or could have already handed out to you about selecting your subjects. All right, so you just follow the bouncing ball through here, but we'll go through it now so you understand how to do it properly. All right, so we go to www.selectmysubjects.com.au. All right, and each of you have an individual student access code and a password. Now I can just cut and paste these because it's electronic. You guys can't because you've got it as a hard copy. So anyhow, just watch as we put it in. All right, so there's my username, and here's my password. It doesn't matter if you forget these because your teacher will have copies of your username and password anyway. All right, so we're going to put the username and password here. I've made up a fictitious student by the name of Stuart Daniel, and I'm going to act as him and put these subjects in. So as you can see, this is the home page screen here. This will tell you, this submitted preference receipts will tell you if you've already done it before, and remaining submission opportunities. I've set it up so you can only change your mind 5 times, okay? Seems a bit ridiculous, but some people change their mind 2 or 3 times at least, but I've given you a chance to change your mind 5 times. If you really need to change your mind more than 5 times, then we do have an issue, okay? You need to come and see accounts and us to help you through, all right? Anyhow, what you need to do is click on Add New Preferences here, all right? And Add New Preferences will come up. And as you can see, what I have done for you guys to make it easier is that I have split it up into research project, literacy, numeracy, and then your free choice of subject selections here, all right? Now, this little red mark here means that if there is nothing in this box here, you cannot save it. So if you have any of these red marks, you will not be able to save your subject selection. So you need to make sure you have no red marks, red exclamation marks here on the side. So anyhow, if we go back to what we said before, remember, if we look on this one here, here are our compulsory subjects such as research practices and research project. Okay, so we have to make sure that we put all of those in. So if I come back here, you've chosen preference 1, we put research practices in preference 1, and in preference 2 we put research project. Now the important thing to note here is the code, all right? The 1 and 2 do not mean semester 1 or semester 2. The 1 and 2 mean here, 1 means I want to do it for 1 semester, 2 means I'm doing a subject for a whole year. So 1 leads into 2, all right? Because we can only have 10 credits for a semester, but a whole year is worth 20 credits, all right? So in this case here, research practices 1 and 2, okay, means I'm doing 10 credits and I'm going to do this for the whole year. Really important to know, and I'll touch on that in a moment, okay? So literacy here, so I'm going to go with normal English rather than essential English, or standard English, sorry, rather than essential English, okay? And again, I choose the 1 and the 2 code because I want to do it for a whole year. Here we look at, if we look at our numeracy class here, all right, I wanted to do math methods for 1 unit. As you can see, I've got 1, 1, 1 because I'm choosing 1 semester in here, okay? Not everyone has to do a whole year of numeracy, so that's why there's only 1 box for it. If you want to do a whole semester, if you want to do a whole year of mathematics, okay, just find the subject with the 2 code and that will give it to you for a whole year. So I want to do math methods for a whole year. I find it down in this big line up here. So here we go. SACE1 math methods. It's got the 2 code. That means I want to do it for a whole year. Okay. All right. So now I just make sure I check on my sheet again and see what I chose. All right. So I chose, then after math methods, I chose a whole year of music. All right, and again, notice why I said to order it from most wanted to least wanted, because it actually puts it in preferential order here. So music, that means I want to do it for one semester, but I want to do it for a whole year, so I have to choose both codes. Okay, so I'm going to get it in semester A and semester B. All right, remember what I said before? And again, see how it's ordered it from preference 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all right? The computer will fill the top preferences first, and if it doesn't fit the bottom preferences, then it will use the reserve preferences, okay? So my other subjects where I want to do a semester of psychology, so because I want to do just a semester, I just choose the one code, okay? That's all. And then I want to do a semester of lifestyle and rec. So if I look here for lifestyle and rec, just get it, might have gone past it. So lifestyle and rec, I only want to do it for semester, so I just choose the one code. If I choose the two code, it's saying I want to do it for a whole year, which I don't. So you just choose the one code. Okay? Good. All right, and my last two, I think I said hospitality, so let's just find where they are. I'm going to do hospitality here. Here we go, food and hospitality. And then I'm going to do food and hospitality here. So I want to do it for a whole year. So I chose the 1 and the 2 code. And then my reserve preferences, I said, were bio. So I'm going to choose biology there. Okay. Once you've got that and all the red exclamation icons are gone, you'll notice that proceed lights up green. Okay. So when I click on proceed, it will then get me to check that these are my subjects that I want to choose. Okay, and it brings it up here. So again, preference 1 down to preference 10. Now you'll notice that preferences 1 to preferences 5 are all your compulsory subjects. Hate to say it, guys, but they're the ones that get priority because you have to do them to complete your SACE. So as much as you might hate English or maths or research project, you have to do them, so they're going to get the higher preference by priority, okay? So all your preferences come from preferences 6 down, all right? So again, really important to make sure that if you wanted to do a subject, it goes higher up on your preference tree than the other subjects. Okay? Good. The other thing I want you to probably have a think about as well is, for instance, remember when I said I wanted to do chem for a semester and then I said no, I changed to psychology? Some subjects, if you want to do them in year 12, say that you must do them for a whole year at year 11. So for instance, stuff like math methods, stuff like specialist maths, stuff like physics, chemistry, physical education, music to a certain extent. If you want to do it in year 12, you must do a whole year of it at year 11. Okay. Now I don't have the full list of subjects on me at the moment, but you can find that out really easy by looking through this senior school subject book, because in the assumed knowledge or prerequisites, it will tell you what you need to do. Alright, so if you're unsure, check with your teacher, okay? It's really hard for kids that do one semester of physics that then find out they need physics for a prerequisite and want to do it for a whole year, okay? It just doesn't happen. So I cannot stress enough to find out what subjects you need to do a whole year of in order to do them at year 12, okay? Anyhow, let's get back to our preferences. Once we've got our preferences here and we're happy with that, that looks good, we then submit our valid preferences. So here, okay, it just thinks it through, and you can see we have a preference receipt here. Okay, so the big thing is here, you need now to print this out, you need to sign it, you need to get your mum or dad to sign it, okay, and you need to return it back to the school. So we cannot give you these subjects until we get this sheet back signed. Okay, if we don't get it signed, and there becomes a clash of subjects, or it's something like outdoor ed that can only fit 16 kids into it, and you don't return your sheet signed, you will not get into outdoor ed. You will have to choose something else. All right, so make sure that you've got this done. All right, the sheet is printed up and signed and returned to the school. Okay, so return it to your care group or your English teacher, but just make sure it gets to one of them. All right, now if I just return to the home page now, because we've decided to save it, you can see now I have a receipt here. So this tells me now that I have chosen my subjects and they are stored on the computer. And if you want to have a look at it any time, you just click on that and it brings up your old sheet again. All right. So once you've chosen your subjects, you get a receipt. All right. And as I said, print this receipt out, get it signed by mum and dad and yourself, and return it to either your care group teacher or your English/PLP teacher. Okay. That's what we need you to do. All right. Apart from that, though, guys, that's it. That's how we choose subjects here. It's fairly easy, but again, really important. Make sure that you understand this booklet, okay? And you can find it in Public Senior Subject Selection, as well as the Taste Today videos. All right. Grab this and make sure that you fill it out. All right. Make sure that you fill it out. And if you have any further questions, guys, please remember to come and see me, talk to your teachers, or see Mrs. Williams, okay? Apart from that, guys, thanks very much for listening. I hope it's made it easier. Yeah, and all the best with choosing your subject selections. All right, see ya.